Hello everyone, I am Mamadou Babai, the main developer of the SenseGlove Unreal Engine plugin. And as you might have heard, recently we released version 2 of the SenseGlove Unreal Engine plugin. And today I'm here to show you how to upgrade your projects to this release of the plugin. This release mostly focused on adding support for Nova 2 devices, which is a new SenseGlove device. In addition to that, it also contains a lot of fixes and improvements. And also, as part of an agreement between SenseGlove and Allbreaker, this release contains a pair of new virtual hand model, which you could use out of the box. In the previous release of the plugin, you should have basically modeled and rigged your own virtual hand, which might have been difficult for some people. But thanks to Allbreaker, they provided our users with a pair of new hand model. I highly recommend to go and check out their website for terms of use. Basically, also you could check out the license file, like the third-party license file here, which contains a section and also the basically link to their website. So you could check out the terms if you are planning to use it in production. But basically, yeah, this release has mostly focused on Nova 2 and bringing default virtual hand model. So in the past, we had a few tutorials. If you have ever checked out our landing page on the Unreal Engine marketplace, and there was a section tutorials, and in this section basically there was something called SGBasicDemo, which is a demo project. You could check out the source code by clicking on this link here, and it just basically lands you on our Microsoft Azure DevOps repositories. So you could, by clicking here, this hamburger menu, you could basically download the source code and open it inside Unreal Engine. We had, I guess, 4 tutorials for this project. So basically how to set up, how to set up some features of the plugin and use them. But in this video, we are mainly focusing on upgrading that project as a sample to show you how you could basically upgrade your own projects to the new Unreal Engine plugin from SenseGlove. Basically, and also in addition to that, if you want, the changelog is here. You could always click on this and it just brings you to this page, so you could go through each item and see what has changed for yourself. But I'm going to basically show you the project here. It's this new release. The previous release of the project, it was compatible with Unreal Engine 5.2, but this release is compatible with Unreal Engine 5.4. So if you check it out, you have to install basically Unreal Engine 5.4 for the new release of the sample, the example projects. But yeah, you could basically, because the previous version was compatible with 5.2, you could basically follow this tutorial and check out the older version and make it compatible with the desired version. And by the way, if you go to the landing page, the last screenshot here shows you the supported engine versions right now. Unreal Engine 5.1, 5.2, 5.3. You could install this from UE Marketplace. 5.4, you cannot do that right now because it's in preview. And basically, once the final release is done by Epic, we could basically publish the plugin on the Epic Store. But you could always check out from our Microsoft Azure repositories. We already do have tutorials for that, how to basically download the plugin. If you follow the second tutorial here, plugin installation for Microsoft Windows, there's also another one basically for Linux that you could follow and basically install it on your Linux. But anyway, here I'm going to download the plugin. I'm going to download the SGBasicDemo. Let's start from the beginning. Basically, once you Google SenseGlove Unreal Engine Plugin, you are going to land on this page. If you click on this link in the example section, it's going to basically to the repository. And also there is a note here about the branches on this repository, because if you click on these branches, you basically see, I guess there's 17 branches here. Basically, all of these are like equal, but there are minor and slight changes from each branch to the other. Basically, we did some default settings for every headset or every platform. Like, for example, if you need Quest Pro on Android, you should basically check out this one, but this one is compatible with version 1. But the branches that have like dash version 2 postfix, it's compatible with the version 1 of the version 2 of the plugin, and you could check out that one. For example, this one is Quest Pro Android and also is compatible with version 2, and this one is Quest Pro and compatible with PC and also version 2. The master branch right now, it is compatible with Quest 2 Android and also Quest 2 PC for version 2 of the plugin. So if I'm going to basically download the master branch, it would be equivalent to Quest 2 Android version 2 or Quest 2 PC version 2. Basically, they have the same settings. This was a note on the branches. But anyway, I'm going to download this. Let's download this and save it up inside this folder, dev tutorials. And then also I need the plugin because I'm not going to, as you can see right now, it supports 5.3 and I am using 5.4, which is in preview. So I have to basically retrieve this from the Azure DevOps, as you can see, it's not retrievable from Microsoft, from Epic Marketplace. But anyways, I'm going to basically click on this changelog. It's going to tab. It's just going to bring me to the changelog, but I don't need that. I just create on file, click on files. And here also there are some branches, as you can see. Basically for every branch of the engine that you need the plugin, you have to go to that branch first and then download it. Right now, if I download from master branch, it should be compatible with 5.1 to 5.4. Yeah, I try to just check out the branch because actually there is like a slight difference between 5.1 and 5.4. That's why if you are using 5.1, probably you are going to get build failures if you check out from the master branch, but for the rest it should be the same and it should work. But anyway, I'm going to download from the relevant branch. Well, once I check out the branch, I'm going to basically hit the download button and I'm going to save this in the same path. Okay. Now, if I open a Windows Explorer, I think it's still downloading, as you can see here. And yeah. Okay, let's drag the project, the SGBasicDemo. I'm going to extract it to a folder. So basically, I'm going to name this to just SGBasicDemo. I have the one that is compatible with version 1, version 2, which is basically now the first two folders are the same thing. But anyways, now we have SGBasicDemo here. I go to the plugins folder. There's a file called SenseGlove. You have to delete this because this is basically for us that do the development. It's just like a Git sub module. If you open this file, it just contains a commit hash, as you can see here. So it's pretty much useless for you. So you have to basically delete this. I'm going to delete it. And then this folder should be empty. And then I'm gonna copy the plugin here. It does not matter if I downloaded it from Microsoft Azure, or if I grab it from the Epic Marketplace. I have to put it inside this folder. So as you can see, the download is finished. Now I'm going to extract this also to a folder. It just takes some time. Okay, now it's extracted to this folder. I'm going to basically rename this to simply SenseGlove. It should be called this because the name of the plugin is this. So I drop the -unreal part. I'm going to cut this, and I'm going to the folder SGBasicDemo. Then I'm gonna go to plugins and I'm gonna paste it here. Okay, now since this plugin is version 2 of the plugin, I'm going to show you how to basically make sure, also there is a tutorial for that, separate one, finding out your SenseGlove plugin version. But here, anyway, I'm going to show you, because there, I guess I showed two ways, but here I'm going to show you one of the ways that you could check if you have the right version of the plugin. But anyway, what I did, basically, I extracted the folder. I came here inside the SGBasicDemo. I put it inside the SenseGlove folder here, and it should look like this. Now, if we go inside the SGBasicDemo, now basically we downloaded everything. And the first thing I want to do is make this basically project open with Unreal Engine 5.4 instead of 5.2. You could just skip this, and yes, I made a mistake. I have to kill Notepad++ from Task Manager. Okay, now if I basically open the project, because it's from the actually, I think I did check out the wrong branch. It's the branch that is already 5.4 because it was the master branch. So let's go back. Let's delete this. I made this mistake. I'm gonna go back because this was actually if you wanted a working version of the SGBasicDemo. But I want to basically grab the previous version, which is compatible with Unreal Engine 5.2 and also the version 1 of the SenseGlove Unreal Engine plugin. So I'm going to go back and here basically check out the one that is compatible with Quest 2 for Android or PC. As I said, it's just the same thing. So this is the one actually we did check out, but so I'm gonna go back to version 1. And how can I make sure it's the correct one? If I come here, it should have basically I should have checked it. It should say it's 5.2. So hopefully not going to take long. I'm going to replace this file. Then I'm gonna extract it again inside this folder. So I'm gonna rename it to just simply basic demo. And as I said, you have to also extract the Unreal plugin. Let's extract that one. So I'm gonna rename this to SenseGlove. Then I'm going to cut this, and I'm gonna go to SGBasicDemo inside the plugins folder. I have to remove this file, and once I do that, I'm gonna paste this here. And yeah, it's the way we wanted it to be. So here, if I open like this U project file inside basically an editor like Notepad++, I'm going to make this 5.4. But as I said, you could just keep this as 5.2. And basically, I'm going to open the engine. I'm going to open it. Going to ask, probably it says these modules are required and they are not already built. So I'm going to say yes. It's going to basically build them, but yeah, I'm getting an error here, probably because it is sometimes this is going to happen. So I have to basically open this either in Visual Studio or either in Rider. I'm going to use JetBrains Rider to open it. And basically here, I'm going to press open. I'm going to come back to desktop, dev tutorials. And here, once I do that, it says trust and open. It might take a bit of time for it to load. As you can see, it's loading. But yeah, as you can see, this is like the branch that I checked out. And earlier on my computer, I actually kept it here in order to show you some differences. This is going to open with Unreal Engine 5.2. I did open it. Now it's opening up on my first monitor. You are not able to see the splash screen because I'm recording the second monitor. But here, yeah, as you can see, it's open inside Unreal Engine 5.2. This was the initial project, which is definitely different, and right now it's compatible with 4. But anyway, let's go back to Rider. Okay, now you could stick to development editor. It is fine. I usually, when I do development, I use the debug game editor. But here also, okay, now, yeah, that's why it was not basically building. It was going to fail. Because inside Rider, as you can see, it says load failed. And if we investigate the output here, it should be here. Yeah, as you can see, there are some errors and warnings here. It just basically tells us there are some probably modifications that we have to make. I will tell you what is that. Basically, if you come here, let's open this in Notepad++. If you go to the source folder here inside the target, this is something not related to SenseGlove Unreal plugin, but this is between the engines. So for example, if you stick to 5.2 and you only want to basically upgrade to SenseGlove Unreal Engine version 2, there's no problem. But I'm also upgrading the engine, so that's why I have to make these changes. Basically, the error we were getting was because of this. This build settings version v2. I'm going to make this v5 for Unreal Engine 5.4. And also this file, this one is basic editor target. I'm going to also make this 5. Probably I don't even need Rider now. I can just simply Basically click on this, click open, and it's again showing me the same dialog. I click yes. Now it seems to be building. I can verify this by opening Task Manager. And basically, as you can see, the editor is working. Now it's showing me a dialog. I can click basically show log to show the details. And probably we see Microsoft MSVC processes here. So it's good that we know that was the only change between Unreal Engine 5.2 and 5.4 that we had to make. Was just this one. Change it from v2 to v5 for this file and this file. So I'm going to basically now close this and wait for the project to build. And if you also are interested to just basically see what has changed between the branches, if you go to the master branch inside the SGBasicDemo and if you take a look at the history, those branches that are compatible with Unreal Engine 5.2 and the older plugin are up to this commit, but the rest are like these commits are basically merged into the new v2 branches. Now, it's the engine is open inside my basically first monitor. I'm going to drag it to the second monitor, as you can see, and now we are on par with the basically older version. Now we can actually make a basically diff to see what's basically has changed. As you can see, here we did add some buttons inside the scene, so that's the first thing probably you see. And also if you go and investigate other folders, here you see there's a blueprint for these buttons here, and also inside the mesh folder you see the Allbreaker mesh, but it's not here. Inside the mesh folder we have the old hand, which we copied from basically the engine from Unreal Engine 5.2, I guess, or 5.1, if I recall from the original tutorial. But anyway, this has been removed from the new demo since we now ship the Allbreaker hand models. But anyways, yeah, these are like some differences that you notice on the surface, but also there are other differences. If we go back to the change log here, let's open it in a new tab. And basically, this version of the plugin, it just added support also for Quest 3. That's why inside the SGBasicDemo, if you come here, and if you check out the branch for Quest 3, Quest 3 only has the v2 version because version 1 was not compatible. But anyway, as you can see, Quest 3 here is supported. And also in addition to that, some classes have been added in order to, because we did upgrade SenseGlove libraries. Yeah, there were some classes that have been removed and some other classes that have been added. And also we added support for Unreal Engine 5.4. That's why we are now upgrading, and also the virtual hand models. And there were some bug fixes as well, but yeah, there were some other changes. Like for example, the most notable ones here are let's go, for example, SG Touch component. and also SG virtual hand component. Now, yeah, there are some changes here. For example, the default graph point has been changed, like from graph point to generic graph points. But you could also definitely change it yourself. If you go to the virtual hand component setting, let me show you inside the icon here. Go with the new version. Let's open SGPON here. Open. And basically, if we choose one of these virtual hand components and basically graph component, it's called generic graph point, but you could also change it in the previous release. If you open it on here, opening inside the new window, I don't like this because it went to my first monitor. I'm going to close it first. I'm going to editor preferences. I'm clicking on it, but probably because two versions of the engine open. Basically inside the editor preferences accessible from here, I'm going to put this on main window. So when I basically open a new window, it's going to open here. Then I'm going to open the full blueprint editor, but yeah, the engine is not responding. I have to wait a bit. Now I can open full editor, and here, if I type grab, here also, yeah, probably I did it manually, but inside the source code, it's called grab point by default, but now it's called generic grab point. But also you can change it to whatever you want. Later we see you can also, you have to change it on the model as well. But yeah, that's one notable thing that has changed. And also for the SG touch component here, we have changed the buzz duration and buzz level because in the new API, these are called vibrotactile duration and vibrotactile level. And also in the previous version of the plugin, the number it was basically accepting for basically force feedback and buzz level, it was between 1 to 100, but now it's between 0 to 1, which is a float, but in the past it was like integer. If we come here again, 1. We didn't open, I guess we did open from the previous. Yeah, as you can see, yeah, we were in the wrong project when I was explaining the grab socket name. It was in the previous version, it was grab point, but we changed that now to basically, as you can see here, generic grab point, but here it's called just grab point. But anyway, and also here, if we, yeah, I have three versions of the engine open. That's why we did actually confuse the projects. But anyway, let's go to this one, for example, simple cube. Here, like there is a touch component and also there is a grab component, as you can see here. These values basically in the previous version, it was called buzz level and buzz duration. And also there was like a force feedback level for the touch component. But in the new release, if you go back here, inside here, you see it's called vibrotactile duration, vibrotactile level, and it's between 0 to, and also for same for the force feedback level. That's one other thing that has changed. And yeah, there's also something important because that's why Unreal Engine 5.1 I said if you check it from the master branch, it's not going to work. You have to check it from its own branch, because Epic changed something about the way they visualize the controllers inside the engine. Basically, they added something called the UXR device visualization component. But if you are using Unreal Engine 5.1, you don't have this component. Basically, let's go back here. In the original tutorial that we created, and also in the original demo, here there is like a rest tracker right and rest tracker left, which when we show the hand model inside the engine, if you want to visualize the controllers as well, basically there was like a property called display device model. Once and we have already covered this in the original tutorial, by the way. Basically, once you check this, it's going to show the controller. But also you could here basically use the meshes from OpenXR or provide your own mesh for the controller. But now if you basically go to the new demo in Unreal Engine 5.4 and open the SGPON, here there's in addition to rest tracker, and here also if you type display, you see this has been removed from 5.4. On 5.2 and 5.3, you still have it, but it was basically deprecated. That's why it might even load the wrong controller mesh. For example, I believe for me on Quest 2, it was basically loading the wrong mesh. But yeah, when I use the new component here, which has been added to the basically the rest tracker right and left. On this one, basically I have the same settings. I could use OpenXR or basically add my own custom mesh. So yeah, the settings now are basically on this component called XR device visualization component. You have to add this as a child to your basically rest tracker component, and then yeah, it's going to visualize the basically controllers. That's one other notable change that I wanted you to know. And basically, yeah, that's it. Then I guess I don't need this engine. I could get rid of it. And then let's go back to the changelog to see if we did cover the most important changes. I think we did. And now we could one with making the basically project look like the one that we already have on the master or v2 branches. But anyway, if we go to the SGBasicDemo here and we go to the history, there are some steps that we should take. I'm going to cheat from here because I don't remember exactly all of them, and then basically we are going to make it work. But before that, I want to basically first show you the new scene. So I'm gonna turn on my glove and also going to bring up the Oculus Link app. I believe it's already running, and also SenseCom is already running. I have like the glove, and this is the old project. This is the final project. I'm going to basically wear the glove and press the VR preview button. What do we have here? Basically, if I go to VR preview, and now also because I'm recording with a very low frame rate, I see my hand. One thing that also I want you to know is in the previous versions of the SenseGlove Unreal Engine plugin, once basically in the previous version of the SenseCom, once you were connecting to a new glove, you had to do the calibration on the SenseCom side. But here inside the new plugin and also new SenseCom, you don't have to do the calibration on the SenseCom. Basically, it's not going to show you the calibration because it's moved into the glove, the calibration. It doesn't matter if you have like Nova 2 or Nova 1 with support for onboard calibration. It's in the API. Let me show you. Basically, if you go to open level blueprint on board, yeah, as you can see, there's like supports onboard normalization, I guess. Yeah, this one. So you could always check if it does. The device supports like onboard calibration, but also I told you you could check if you have the latest SenseGlove plugin. I forgot to basically tell you how to do that. If you go to the edit menu and inside the plugins window here, if you type SenseGlove and if it's enabled here, you see the version 2. Make sure you have at least version 2 for future. Also, when you have newer releases, something changed, then we let you know if this tutorial is basically invalid, but you need at least version 2 of the plugin for this tutorial to basically follow on whatever I'm doing right. Anyway, okay, and let's go back to the demo in order to show you the calibration. Once we run the demo, you see a prompt there. It says basically in order to recalibrate the glove, you have to press a spacebar on your keyboard. If I do that, let me show you. This is my hand. It's basically not calibrated. If I press the spacebar, you see it just changes to flat hand. Now here, if I make a fist and again make a flat hand, it should basically calibrate the device. And yeah, now the calibration is ready. So simpler than the previous version. But anyway, on Android, definitely, for example, if you are running in a standalone mode, you don't have the basically a spacebar key. That's why in the demo, we added these reset calibrations. For example, if I make this here, if I touch this button, you see it just goes to flat hand. Now I can do the calibration. So these reset calibration buttons on left, basically right, back, front and back, are put there to be used inside a VR simulation instead of a spacebar that you have on PC. So basically we did also add that. We will get to that, how this does work. But anyway, this was one feature that has been added to the demo. Now let's continue basically with the old project and migrate it to the new one. Okay, the first thing I want to basically see here is go to SGPon. That's the first thing. And as you can see here, compared to the previous version, we already have like the controller visualizer right, controller visualizer left. Basically, this is the difference between SenseGlove Unreal Engine version 2 and the previous release. It automatically adds this to SGPon because this SGPon blueprint, it was subclass when you do a new blueprint class, and here all classes, because it was subclass basically from SGPon. As you can see, BP SGPon has been subclass from SGPon. Then it's going to be added automatically. So you don't have to basically add this visualization component here. But for Unreal Engine 5.1, you don't have this. As I've mentioned here on this one, you had the option to turn it on. But in Unreal Engine 5.4, basically the plugin is going to add this for you. Actually, you could check this inside the source code. If you basically go to the plugins folder, inside SenseGlove, inside source, inside the SenseGlove module, private SenseGlove, and I believe it's inside game framework, SGPun, and open this inside Notepad++, and inside the constructor, basically here. Yeah. Here you see if the engine version is basically newer than 5.1, because here equal basically bigger equal. It's going to basically set up like the visualization component. Otherwise, it's going to use the old settings on the tracker. So this is basically being taken care of for you. You don't have to do anything. But also, if you are using another headset, like for example Quest 3, you want to basically go to wrist tracker, because in the previous release we didn't have basically settings for Quest 3. Also, you could first, if you want to do it like globally inside the project, you go to project settings. There's a section here called SenseGlove in the plugin section, and there are some wrist tracker settings. You could basically check out your supported controller. For example, Quest 3 or Quest 2. I don't do it usually from here because I would like to have more control. That's why I'm going to override it from the plugin itself, like inside wrist tracker right and wrist tracker left. So here I did choose Quest 2 controller, as you can see, and also for wrist tracker right, also I did Quest 2 controller. For other headsets, this might be different. As you can see, for Vive Pro for Vive Focus 3, we have like separate tutorials. So you could always check out that, but I'm not going to go through this in this tutorial. But anyway, that's one more thing that you needed to know. But there are other settings. First, like for example, changing the collider size. We've already covered all these like the previous tutorials when we were setting this up. But first, I want to basically change the hand model. As you can see here, for the previous hand, this one basically uses the old project. It was using the previous hand. And if I open here, let's see if the basically C++ code, as you can see here, it's basically uses the mesh from the basically project here, but I want to use the mesh from basically the one that is offered by Allbreaker and shipped with the plugin. So that's why if I go to the plugins folder here, by the way, if it's not visible here, there's an option like this. You see it's called show plugin content. It's as you can see it now, it only shows the content from the project and also from the engine. If I click the show plugin content, then it's going to basically show me the plugin content. Well, now if I go to the plugin content here, as you can see, I have like a material, and also I have like a mesh here. I could basically select one of these. For example, for the left hand, I'm going to select this. And then when I go inside SGPun, I'm going to find, because we already did have like 2 left hand and 2 right hand, basically, because we make a separation. If you don't remember, let me show you from the previous tutorial. Go to VR preview mode. get the screen. Yeah, as you can see here, there are like two hands. I did visualize the first hand with a mesh and the second one, which is the real hand. As you can see here, when I, for example, touch an object, the real hand still is moving and it's basically goes inside the object, but the mesh is not going, the virtual. Basically, the SenseGlove plugin, since the previous releases, it has like this feature that makes it separation, like it distinguishes the virtual hand from the real hand. That's why the real hand is not going inside objects, but you could actually visualize the also the real hand, either by using a mesh or also in this case I just use the debug hand of using a mesh. So basically that's why we have two components inside the pond. Anyways, but here, as you can see, for this one and this one, if I want to use the basically those meshes, I have to go inside overview, inside the map content browser. Here, I basically find my mesh, and inside this chipon, I'm going to use this button. Now, if I hold my mouse on it, it says it's from /games, /meshes, /escape left. But if I use this one, basically it's going to now use the one from SenseGlove. But I don't want to do that. What I want to do is basically press Ctrl-V in order to revert the changes. What I want to do is basically I want to copy this mesh because I want to modify it. I cannot modify it while inside the, or I don't want to modify it while it's inside the basically plugin. I want to copy this per project instead of modifying one because we want to basically add sockets to it or remove sockets from it. So that's why I'm going to migrate it and make a new copy. Then what am I gonna do? I'm gonna right click on this. I'm gonna use assets, or perhaps I have to basically select all this, and I'm gonna say migrate from asset, right click, asset actions, and I'm gonna use migrate. I'm gonna choose everything, including the material and physics asset or skeletons or whatever. I'm going to say OK. It says, where do you want to move it? I'm going to choose basically the SGBasicDemo content folder. So I'm going to select it. And now if I go back inside mesh, and now here you see like there's a material called SenseGlove virtual hand, and also all breaker folder. Now I could simply go back. I could also here basically select the virtual hand mesh I want, and then go back here and apply it. Or now because it's part of the project, basically I can select it from here instead of going to content browser, find it there, and then basically this is the left hand. So I'm gonna use the mesh all breaker left. This one is from game meshes. This one is from SenseGlove. So I'm going to use this one /game/mesh in order to make sure I'm choosing the correct one, because in the previous versions of the engine it was not showing the basically contents from the engine. Maybe if I uncheck this, fall back to the same behavior, because I want to make sure I'm selecting the right mesh. Okay, now yeah, if we uncheck the content for the newer version, it's not going to basically show. Then yeah, now I can select the left here, and let's go back for real hand left. Also, let's select this one. One thing you might have noticed is this one uses like two materials compared to previous hand model. Because this hand model from Allbreaker, you could basically specify a different nail color. So that's why I don't want to do that. I want to use the same one. So I'm going to basically use the same. This one is basically the color, the material for the base of the hand. And this one is basically the material for the nails. I'm going to choose both as the same material. Also, let's go back to the previous one. Here, I'm gonna basically use the same material, SenseGlove Virtual Hand and SenseGlove Virtual Hand. That's the same thing. Then let's go to the right hand. I'm going to basically use the one that is from Allbreaker. They use the same material. But for the real hand, I'm going to use the Allbreaker right and underline real hand. Okay, now made sure the real hand use the same material. Let's double check. This one is using the right hand Allbreaker. This one is using Allbreaker right hand. And this one should be Allbreaker left hand. This one as well should be Allbreaker left hand with the correct material. So now we did set up our basically now new virtual hand. If I'm going to basically press play, I should be seeing the new virtual hand. You should definitely notice the difference between the previous hand model that I just showed you in the previous run. Okay, now as you can see, the hand mesh has been changed. If I press spacebar, it's not working because we did not set up the spacebar like the final project open other instance of the engine. We have to basically set up that as well. But anyway, before that, I want to basically also change the sockets first. So let's go back and also change the size of the hand because basically the grab, or we could let's first go and basically set up the, because we want to do some testing. So first, let's go see what we did here inside the level blueprint for the reset calibration. I'm going to open up basically the level blueprint. This is the final project. This is not the one that we are using right now. Basically here, what I do on key press spacebar, I'm running a sequence. First, I'm doing the calibration for the left glove. I try to find it. If it's there, basically I'm going to calibrate it, and the other one I'm going to also do it for the right glove. So what am I also doing here? Basically inside the event begin play, I'm copying this. Let's copy this. Basically show a message. I say like either press the space bar or basically one of those reset calibration buttons inside the scene. So let's go back. As you can see, when I press play, it's not showing any messages here inside the old project. Then I'm gonna go to open level blueprint, and basically I'm gonna press Ctrl V. I am showing this because I don't want to type. I'm too lazy. So now compile, save, and we should be seeing the message there. Basically, if I change, you can select the viewport. Yeah, you can see the message like in a bigger font. Yeah. Okay, now we want to implement it. So that's why here I'm going to basically add like a here open print. I'm going to say p space bar. I'm going to basically choose this one. And then once it's pressed, basically what am I going to do is basically add a sequence. Let's add a sequence. And then here. First, what we want to do is just like print a message. Then I'm gonna again copy this because I don't want to type this. I said calibrating the left glove. Then what am I gonna do? Basically, I'm gonna get the glove from the API, from the haptic glove. And then basically I'm gonna tell I want like the left hand or right hand. And then if we can get it, we basically print another message and then we call the reset calibration. Let's do that. Here I'm gonna say get glove from the haptic glove. Like you have other get glove commands here, but I think let's try. This one is not going to let me choose which glove, like left or right. I'm gonna say get glove. I think it was it's the second one. Yeah, it's the second one. I'm gonna basically choose this. This is the left hand. Then I'm gonna add a branch. If the glove is connected, the result would be true, and this is going to basically return an instance of the glove. I don't need that, but I want to just, yeah, if it's there, then basically here, if it's not there, I'm going to show like fail to find any left-handed glove, and the other one, it says the left glove, basically the left glove calibration has been started. Then I'm gonna copy this because I don't want to type this, Control V. Basically, yeah, I'm going to print these messages and then I'm gonna call the reset calibration. Call the reset calibration from hand layer, not from basically any kind of Nova, Nova 2 or whatever glove classes that we have. We are calling the one from hand layer reset calibration. Then I'm going to basically connect these. And yeah, it is, you see here, this one is like a left-handed glove. That's why I'm not gonna check this. See, I want to reset the calibration for the left hand. Then I'm going to basically select all these, press C. I'm gonna add a comment. Left glove calibration, whatever. Here, probably I use a different. Reset the calibration on the left, whatever. It doesn't matter. Then I'm gonna duplicate this code. Basically, Control D. And I'm gonna connect this to the next one. And here I'm going to just change it to basically also the comment. Glove calibration. And also here I'm gonna say it's right hand. And also I have to change the messages. Well, right. Did not find any right. And probably here as well. Okay, compile, save. Let's go to VR preview. I want to see if I can really calibrate the glove. And right now I only have like a left glove connected to the system, so possibly I can see Unfortunately, I don't see anything on my headset. Probably. Okay, that's okay. Running two versions of the engine. For instances, it's a bit overkill for my system, but let's see if I can. Now, we see the prompt. Now I'm going to basically press the space. It works. And as you can see, we get an error for the right hand glove because it's not able to basically find the right hand. But anyway, now we have added the calibration feature, at least for the space bar. After this, I want to basically make some modification to the virtual hand model because I believe the size is not correct, the size of the physics collider, and also the size of the grab and touch basically colliders. Probably I don't have like a great experience picking up items inside the scene. Let's see. Yeah, as you can see, it's just not that great. And also if I want to, you see, it just stops too soon because right now the size of the basically rigid body on the hand is not correct. So we have to change this. Basically, also the touch and grab component. Now I can even feel it when my hand is like a few centimeters away from the cube, which is not what I want. Okay, let's open this Shipon. First, we change the size of the colliders. The size that I found actually remove search term here. Yeah, I think in the previous one, it was around 8 centimeters, as you can see here, which is too big for the previous hand model. Yeah, I think for both touch and grab, we did use the same. So I'm going to basically copy the scale from here. I'm gonna select everything on the right hand, and then I'm gonna paste it. Let's do the same thing with the other hand. And left, only select the finger colliders, apply it, and then compile, save. Okay, now we easily fix the colliders of the finger. As you can see, these are the colliders, these red ones of fingers. So yeah, these are the colliders for touch and grab components. We did already cover these in the original tutorial, but we have to basically go to the mesh all breaker. Here inside this physics, basically assets for the hand, I'm going to for the one that is on the left hand, and the one that is the right hand. Okay, now I have them open here. Basically, you see the size of this rigid body too big. So I'm going to basically select this first, then press R for a scale. And basically, I'm gonna scale down. You see the number here, it's just going to change, but for the optimal size, because I already did check this here, let's check the number, which number actually is the best one. I think, yeah, we chose the best one. Yeah, it's 0.26. Yeah, it's the best one. I only have to basically rotate it a bit. I did. I have to basically rotate this a bit. Yeah, in order to align it with the, so I'm gonna here go this view. I'm gonna move it a bit also, W. Then again press E for rotate. I could basically, because now the snap to grid is enabled, I could disable it. It's good. I think it's good. Okay, let's do the same thing. For this one, press R. Scale it a bit. I think this is good. It's kind of good. So now we could save both of these and close it. Now I guess we can try the graph and basically let's go back. Press a key on the controller, then I'm gonna press the space bar, reset the calibration, try. Yeah, I think it's good. Size of the hand is good. Let's check with the wall. Yep, I think it's good. Then let's try to grab something. Because of the low frame rate. What? Okay, now, as you can see, also the grab is not good because, yeah, if you remember, I talked about like the grab point, the name has changed, the default name. Let's check that as well. And also on the mesh. Let's go back here. And basically, if I go to the graph here, inside the components that we have on the scene, like these objects that we have, these actors that we're going to pick, simple cube and simple sphere. Here probably we have to change for the graph component. It's called cube graph point, and also it's called this one. Yeah, for only we have it for the SG graph, and also here inside the SG on. Here we have like the graph. Basically for hand left or hand right, we have like a generic graph point. So this one is basically the generic one, but also we have to add sockets to the hand model for basically this cube graph point. Okay, let's open up the all breaker hand model. Go to the skeleton for the left hand. Go to the skeleton for the right hand, and here. Also, if we go to the final project here, and open basically the left and right hand. Also, if you see here, like there are like touch, pinky, finger tip, or whatever. There are also a sphere grab point, cube grab point, and also there's one called generic grab. But here only I have like the generic grab point, and only I have like the touch and index grab point. So I have to basically add two, like cube grab point and generic grab point. Let's add those as well. The rest are already set up. I'm going to add in here. Add another socket. I'm going to use the name cube grab point and a sphere grab. And also for the location, I'm going to copy the location called cube grab point. And let's copy the location. And paste. And then for the other one, which is called sphere grab point, I'm going to copy this as well. And I'm going to paste it, but I forgot to copy the name. Go back here. I am going to save this. And we have to do the same thing for the other hand, called hand left. I hope I copied the right. No, I didn't. Okay, let's go back to the right hand because I did copy probably the wrong locations. This is the right hand. Let's again make sure we copied the okay, it's the same. I believe it should be the same thing for the cube graph. Yeah, it's the same thing. Let's go back to the other one. And here, yeah, this is the hand. Let's add one socket, add another. Change. Copy it from here. Here, grab point, then I'm going to copy the location. And once we copy the location, I'm going for the other one. I'm gonna copy the name. And then I'm going to basically copy the location. Okay. We could check, double check if everything is correct for this hand. This one left, this one is left. Now we go to the right and it's the same thing. I believe we are good to go now. Let's one more time try with the right project. Okay, yeah, this is the right project. I'm going to put on my headset. Let's first reset the calibration by pressing spacebar. Now I'm gonna try to. Yep, it seems correct to me. And let's pick up. It looks good. Yeah, you could further adjust it, but I'm gonna stop adjusting in this tutorial. Now we did set up our virtual hand. I want to remove all the assets from the basically the old hand model. I'm gonna select all these. I'm gonna press delete. They are not in use, otherwise Unreal would have told us if it was being used by another asset. So I'm going to delete this. Now I have the all breaker, also the materials. I believe, except these two materials, and this one we copied from the basically plugin. I can get rid of this one as well. Yes, it's not being used by any basically asset. Then I'm gonna fix up the redirectors. I always do that after every rename or basically deletion. And yeah, I think everything is good now. Yeah, everything is good with that one. Now we have it. Basically, let's check the changelog first if we missed anything else. Basically, we upgraded the project to UE4, and we did replace the Albrecht-Hand model. Now we want to basically, I guess even we did shrink the size of the colliders. And yeah, I think we have to, yeah, we could enable the vibro tactile feedback on the simple sphere. We did that because in the previous version, we did not. Basically, if you go here for the SG touch component, you see like there's no vibrotactile feedback. But in the newer engine version, if you go to simple cube, still it's the same thing, like no vibrotactile when we pick up the cubes. But when we pick up the spheres, there is basically full vibrotactile applied. So I'm gonna, for simple sphere, I'm gonna make this 1. I'm gonna save it. Now I should be having vibrotactile on the simple sphere. I'm not going to test that because we are not going to feel it inside the tutorial. But yeah, the only thing that is remaining, I'm going to basically add the reset calibration button for you to see how it can be done. And I believe we are going to be done with the project. So let's go back here. And also, don't forget once you basically go here, like the upgrade project, you see some settings as well has changed. These are usually the one that is done by the engine automatically. Yeah, you might be like needing some other changes, but yeah, the thing that was most important was this one inside the target CS and editor target CS that we did by hand, and also the U project. But yeah, the rest of it is mostly automatically done, but you could always check the changelog from Git here. And yeah, let's actually basically push button for reset calibration because maybe you want to test from Android in standalone mode, and you don't have basically a spacebar to do the reset calibration. What am I going to do? Basically, I'm going to create a new actor here inside the project. I'm going to create a new blueprint class. I'm going to subclass from actor. I'm going to call it BP push button. I'm going to save. I'm going to open it. And let's open this one as well. Here we did basically add like a static mesh called frame, then a button, and basically a text label. We take a look at here. Basically, we have a button. This is the base of the button. This is the button itself that we are going to push, and it goes inside. And also we want to show a 3D text on the button. And let's see how we can do that. Okay, we are going to basically here add static mesh. I'm going to call this frame. I'm gonna add another one, static mesh. I'm gonna call this button. And as you can see, like this button, it should not be the child of that. Then bring it out. Go back. A bit difficult to drag this. I'm gonna call it static mesh. I'm gonna call this button. Then I'm gonna select it. This add text render. I'm gonna call it text label. Text label. Okay. Here inside the button also I want to add like a box collision. I say box collision. I'm gonna add it as a child. But anyway, we want to make get the size and everything right. So let's see what we have done here. We basically copy the scale for the frame. This is the frame where we are going to apply the scale, but also we want to add a mesh. What's the name of the mesh? It's just like a cube. Let's add a cube. Static mesh, as you can see now, added here. Now, we want to also apply material. It's called the persona floor mat. I'm gonna add the material. Called persona floor mat. Now we have the material. Then I'm gonna go to button itself. I'm going to basically again choose cube, and I'm going to basically apply the scale because it was too big. Also, I'm going to copy the location, which is this location, and then we are going to apply the material here. The material called laser pointer material, whatever instance. Laser. I think it was this one. Yep. Yeah, now they look the same. And then I also have the box, which I put on top of it because I want to, when I make the collision with that, I want the animation to be started like we are pushing the button. So I'm going to basically copy the location and also the scale for the box and just paste it. And basically I'm going to copy the location as well, and it did not end up at the same place. Probably I want to maybe because the scale is not right, or delete the box. I'm going to add, now I can see it. I'm going to apply, oh okay, we did actually copied the wrong location because we were selecting box. Okay, then gonna copy the look. Well, yep, now we have the exact same location and scale, and only for the text label I have to also go copy the location text. I'm going to copy the scale, paste it, and the location. Paste it. So I should be getting basically the same thing, but also like by default I did put here reset calibration. This is probably wrong. I have to basically add button, but probably I do it also on the start. That's why you never see the reset calibration here. Basically, I'm gonna do it probably inside the construction script. Yeah, we are reading it from label. It doesn't matter. So here, anyway, we are going to keep this for now. I'm gonna fix it on the master branch, but anyway, it doesn't matter in the end because yeah, on construction it's going to be reset. Now we are going to add a few variables. Now we have the button the way that we want it to look. But we go to the construction script and also the event graph here. We have to do some scripting, as you can see here, in order for this to work. But anyway, first we need a few variables. I'm going to the variables section here. And basically, as you can see, we have the same components, but I don't want the components. I want to just add variable. Let's first add two booleans. One is to keep track of the state of the button, whether it's pressed or not. I'm going to add a is pressed button. Then I'm going to add another button called is touching. We want to know if it's touching the hand. It's just keeping track of that. We want to basically have a correct animation, not just constantly when you still have the contact with it, it's just going to reset the animation. That's why we are using these variables. Then we are going to basically use two transforms to cache the unpressed state and pressed states transform. Basically, let's create variable of type transform, call it unpressed transform, and then add another one called pressed transform. And then one more for the label, because we want to basically make the reuse the button for everything, not just the reset calibration. That's why we create a label, so we could assign labels to it. I'm gonna make this a string, but anyway, let's compile. And also we have to do some other modifications. For example, for label, in order to make it per instance, we are going to basically make this instant editable. So inside the editor, once you basically, let me show you here, basically you select that here, you could basically define like reset calibration or whatever per instance. So for example, this one could be different from this one. Just to show you, for example, reset calibration number 5. You see, this one is different. Or let's say move object, whatever. You could just change the name. So that's why here inside the BP push button, I'm gonna make the label here basically instant editable. So I'm going to allow it to be changed per instant. So let's go back inside push button here. And then I'm gonna basically put the default text here. That's why it didn't matter, because on the construction script, I'm going to basically apply whatever this variable holds to the button. We will see that. Then let's see. Anyway, here also for the transform, you see like this is the press transform, this is the unpressed transform. They have the default value. It's not going to be set here. For the is touching, also it's false. For is pressed, it's false. So, yeah, but we are going to set these on the event play, begin play, nonetheless. Anyway, let's go to the construction script here. Let's see what we are doing. Basically, once the object is constructed, we are going to basically get the text label from here. We are going to call the set text and then apply the label to it. Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna get an instance of this text label. I'm gonna say set, and we are going to read whatever label has here and apply it. Let's see if it works. Okay, and let's drop one of the instances here. See that? I'm going to call this test button. Press enter. Yeah, it is working. It is indeed working. If I just let me close off irrelevant blueprints, other things, so it makes our lives easier. If I basically disconnect that from the construction script, you should not be seeing this here. You see, I put whatever here, it's not gonna change. It's because of this script that I put inside the construction script. It's just going to basically do whatever I put here. Reset. Okay. Okay. Now. If I play, of course, I cannot like do anything. It's just going to not be impressed because we haven't yet implemented the functionality. We go back inside the event graph. Here also I go back to the event graph to see what have I done here. Basically what I do inside the event begin play, I'm going to reset everything and cache the unpressed and press the state transforms. So let's do that. On event begin play, I'm gonna basically set is pressed to false. Basically set is touching to false here. And then here I'm gonna basically get the button. The button, if you remember, the button is this one. This is the frame. I'm gonna get the transform and cache it somewhere inside the variable called unpressed transform. Basically, we get the relative transform. We are going to set it. So let's set this transform here. Then what am I gonna do? I'm gonna get the button instance. I'm gonna get relative form here. Then I'm gonna cache it. Okay, this is done. And then what am I gonna do is basically after I set that variable, I'm gonna add something to it, like basically minus, I do add -4. What does -4 means? Like here you see it's 5. If I make it 1, it should be inside, like it's down. So basically what I want to do, I'm gonna transition between those two values, and it's just gonna be animated. So let's go back. So basically here, where did we go? Here, I'm gonna basically say whatever value this one has. Sorry, wrong project. I'm going to split this block. Basically, you can see when I'm going to set it, I'm going to add -4 to it. So yeah, let's set this one. Also split this. Okay. We are not going to change the scale. We are not going to change the rotation, but we are going to change the location. We get it. And we minus, subtract, minus, it should be +4 because we are minusing. Otherwise, if I use the add operation, then I could have used -4. But here I'm subtracting. So Okay, now we have our values, all these variables, and then we could do something else. Let's go back here. Here, as you can see, for the for the box component here, on component begin overlap, I'm gonna start the animation, and on end overlap, I'm gonna basically do the reverse, and basically when I remove my hand, I'm gonna animate it back to an up state. So let's select the box inside here, and let's go here on begin overlap and on end overlap. Again, select the box and on end overlap. Okay. What we are doing here is basically first we want to see what we did overlap with. Is it the basically SG pawn? If we basically had collided with the player, then yeah, we start to do something. Otherwise, we don't do anything. Then I'm gonna get other actor. I'm gonna cast to SG pawn, and then here, if it's basically the cast is successful, I'm gonna do something. Otherwise, I'm not gonna do anything. Basically, what I do is make is touching true, so I know I'm touching the pawn. So let's set the variable to true. I'm gonna duplicate this. I'm gonna copy paste it here. Then okay, now on begin overlap, we set the variable is touching to true. On end overlap, we are going to make it false. Okay, now here, also I'm gonna do another check, because when I'm touching the pawn, I want to check if the button is in pressed state. I don't want to restart the animation, but if it's not in the pressed state, then I'm gonna start the animation. Basically, I set it to is pressed and then start the animation, but on the other, basically on the end overlap, if the button is not pressed, I'm gonna play back the basically, if it's pressed, sorry, I'm gonna play back the animation to go up, basically. So let's do that. Then here, as you can see, I'm gonna branch on the is pressed. Then I'm gonna get is pressed. Let's branch. Okay, then let's paste this. Control D. Do the same thing here. Okay. Now, as I said, if it's basically, if it's not pressed, we want to animate. And first we basically set is pressed to true. For now, we don't care about this. Later, I will talk about what is that. But anyway, let's drag the is pressed here. We make it true. Then yeah. Okay, then I'm going to use the move component too. I want to use the basically button and move it to a new transform. Which transform? The one that we cache into the pressed state. Let's basically do that. Let's get the button and say move component 2. Now the button is in unpressed state. That's why we need to get the basically pressed trans. Split it, and I'm gonna apply the location. I'm gonna location, and as you can see here, it's the same thing. And I want to add a is in. You see, it says if it's true, will ease in. Start slowly, and then basically continues. Let's see if this does work. Cannot compile. Why? Because I don't have basically here the other actor connected to object. Oh, it should be. Okay, let's see if we can press the button indeed. Okay, it's out of my reach, so I probably want to just move this somewhere so that I can see this. Okay, now we are going to play. Here we see the button, and I'm gonna try to touch it. Works. It's not working. It's working. Let's see why. It's not working. Because possibly we added 4 component, then yeah. There is also a time. I'm going do it in half a second. When I press, also I want that to be done in half a second, and then yeah, it should be working. But we could always add debug messages. Okay. You see, I did connected this to the wrong. Basically, it should be false. If it's false, because it's never like pressed, it's always the condition will always be false. Because it's if it's not pressed, actually we are going to set it to press, and then we start the process. So I think this should be good. Okay, I started at a bad location, but as you can see, it's moving because yeah, it was already touched with the button, but yeah, it is working. Now let's continue, do the rest. That. Okay. Then after that, what am I gonna do is just let's keep this for now. Let's go do the opposite of that. Like if we are basically ending the overlap, we want to do the reverse, like the move to move component to the unpressed transform. Let's do that here. Yeah, as you can see, once basically we cast, the cast is successful, we are going to basically make is touching to false because we did remove our hand. There's no more contact. And then after that, we are going to set is pressed. Basically check is pressed. If it's is pressed, then if it's true, we are going to basically create like a move component to, and to where and which component. It should be button, of course, and it should be like the unpressed transform. And I'm going to split this, and basically let's compile, let's save, let's retest. Okay, I have my hand here. I'm gonna touch the button. Not working. It used to work the first time, but for some reason, it is not working. Let's see why. Oh, and yeah, of course. Once it's completed, basically we have to also here make is press. Once the animation is done, we're going to make it false. So probably this was the reason. We touched it once and then immediately not seeing anything. Yeah, you see it's working. It was because like we set the variable. Now if I untouch, it's gonna be back. But this button is not going to work really smoothly, as you can see. We have to check other conditions, but it's working anyway. Now here, the only difference between these two code is once I basically here the begin overlap happens, we play the animation. We are gonna add a branch. If we are still touching, we are not going to do anything. But if the touch has ended, we are going to play the reverse back, like the animation that to unpress the state. We're going to play that. Basically, what am I doing here is going to say, do another check, get if I'm still touching or not. If I touch, I don't want to basically play anything. But if the touch has already ended, then what am I gonna do? I'm gonna basically play the animation back in reverse. So as you can see here, and basically, yeah. Now it's going to basically look better once our hand is still on the object. It's not going to basically this button is not probably perfect, but still I believe it's good enough. Yeah, as you can see, if I hold it, it was because of the frame rate. With the real hand, if I hold it, it's not gonna basically play back. But if I end the collision, going to be okay. But yeah, we could have just added a delay, make it fancier, because sometimes it's just like for a split second or a frame, it's not gonna basically touch. So that's why it's playback, but it's good enough. It's going to basically do the job. Yeah. Hopefully you get the idea and you could improve. So there was something else in the original code. Basically, I'm firing an event. Basically here, what am I gonna do is basically create an event dispatcher. I want to fire like an event for example, to be used inside the blueprint, like from the level or anywhere else. If this component basically being pressed, I want the external code somehow knows that this button is being pressed, so we could execute another action. So that's why I'm going to create an event dispatcher. I'm going to call this on press. And then here, as you can see, this on pressed, I'm going to basically fire it once the is pressed become true. Here, I'm going to call, is it event or is it call? not event, I guess. Basically add call. Let's do that. So now external code could basically bind to this event and they get notified. Like we could try it, we could basically go inside the scene, because you were seeing when I was pressing it, there was no calibration. But right now, I could actually, let's add 4 other components, like 3 others. One here, one here, and here, and we could basically copy the locations from the scene here. Okay, let's see all properties in category. Probably I have to do it one by one, but okay, let's do it. I'm gonna copy, gonna paste. Okay, this is this one. Possibly I'll see. Nope, I want the one in front. And then basically once I do that, yeah. Back now. The rotation, also I want the rotation because I want the text to be facing the player. I think it's good. Then I'm gonna yeah, we are going to basically copy from this to maybe this one. Copy. It becomes confusing because now the projects look like each other. Then yeah, let's copy this. It's 200. I believe it would be this one. Then copy the rotation as well. Okay. Now I'm gonna copy this, paste, and then I'm gonna copy the rotation. Now I'm gonna this. But also for this one, I use the reset calibration text. For these, also I want the reset calibration. Also reset calibration. Also reset. I'm gonna save. And let's save this one. Let's play the game one more time to see if everything is in its own place. This one is good. That one does not look good. This one does. And this one is also okay. The one on the left has the wrong rotation. I believe it should be this one. Play one more time. We did indeed get it right. Nope, it should be 90 days, because this one is minus. And one more time, we could play this. Make sure everything is in. Yeah, it's right place. Yeah, everything is good. Now, if I touch the reset calibration, it should not. Because like if I try to bend the knees, to bend the fingers. Yeah, not working. So, why it's not working? Because we still haven't bind the unpressed event. So, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna come here inside the level blueprint. Then from here, I'm gonna basically choose every single instance of this push button, push button 2, push button 3, and 4, and basically go back to the level blueprint here. I'm gonna say add event here. There should be like a default unpressed, you can see. Then I'm gonna select the other one, go back to level blueprint, add event, default unpressed. For button 2, I'm gonna select button 3. I'm gonna go back, default unpressed. I'm gonna choose button 4, add default unpressed. Now, if we did everything correctly and we are connecting this, it should be working. Compile, save, let's save everything. And hopefully this should be working. I'm gonna wear my gloves. Make sure when I basically make a fist, move my fingers, see the calibration working. Okay, now I see the hand, the calibration is not there. That's Yep, calibration is working, and you see the logs for the calibration. Now, let's test the other buttons, for example. This one is working. So we have a functional project with reset calibration. It's been updated to the latest version of the SenseGlove plugin, and also the latest version of Unreal Engine, which is 5.4, and everything is working. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial.